Yes, you guys heard me correctly. The numbers are in. And just like I told you, there was a boycott.
You got to understand, these numbers, they did like 2 million viewers. That's up from 2023. 2023 was a little over 900,000. So it is up. So the numbers are going up. But compared to last year, it fell by 40%.
Oh, so they're going to try to spin it. Okay, it could be the second most watched of all time. Of course, it's going to be that, but compared to last year, you still down 36%.
But like, it is another situation than pretending like Caitlin Clark doesn't exist.
They want to make the trajectory look like it's going up and not down. It's whatever, man. We see what's going on.
They're trying to make it so that the data looks as favorable as possible.
ESPN didn't want to show the ratings were down from WNBA All-Star Game because Caitlin Clark didn't play, so they just used the 2023 numbers instead.
ESPN lying again.
ESPN just got exposed for playing games with the numbers, and the receipts are brutal. The network is being accused of manipulating WNBA All-Star Game ratings to hide just how devastating Caitlin Clark's absence really was. The evidence? It's so undeniable that even some of ESPN's own insiders are calling them out for misleading the public. Here's what really happened. The 2025 WNBA All-Star Game in Indianapolis suffered a massive ratings crash, a staggering 36% drop, falling from 3.4 million viewers last year down to just 2.2 million. Instead of facing the truth, ESPN conveniently skipped over 2024's numbers and compared this year's broadcast to 2023, creating a fake narrative of historic growth that simply isn't real. And here's what makes this spin job even worse. The game was held in Clark's home arena. This should have been the biggest all-star celebration the league has ever seen. Instead, it turned into a ratings disaster that ESPN is scrambling to disguise with selective stats and creative PR.
They're just skewing data.
So it's up 158% compared to 23. What happened to 24? Y'all just gonna skip over 24? Like, what?
Thing is, this could be disingenuous too. That's the bad side of it, because for some reason they have a thing where they want to compare everything without Caitlin. They're like, oh, well, she's an anomaly, so we could compare these numbers to 2023 and show you that without Caitlin, it's growing.
This is very similar to the WNBA draft, comparing it to 2023. Very similar to how they are presenting this.
The injury that sparked all this drama happened on July 15th, when Clark unfortunately re-aggravated a groin issue during the Fevers win over Connecticut. Just hours after she announced she wouldn't be able to take part in All-Star Weekend, ticket prices for the event plunged nearly 48%, dropping from $121 down to just $64. That's a clear sign that casual fans weren't interested in the WNBA's biggest event without its biggest star. This wasn't just a minor hiccup for the league, it was a total economic shakeup. It revealed exactly how much the WNBA's success hinges on this 23-year-old superstar. Keep in mind, Clark has already missed 10 regular season games this year due to injuries, marking her most injury-plagued season yet. Quite a contrast to her college and rookie years, where she never missed a single game. If you think ESPN's shady tactics show just how much Clark drives the WNBA's popularity, drop a comment saying, ESPN exposed. And tell me what you think. Can we really trust mainstream sports networks when they have financial interests tied to the leagues they cover?
So for all the people that thought that it wasn't a boycott against this All-Star game, it was, bro. People was just DMing me, telling me that they weren't going to look at it. People was telling me that they refunded their tickets. I was even supposed to be there, and I decided not to go because of the things with the referees and the WNBA disrespecting Caitlin.
1,250,000 viewers, woof, out of existence. No Caitlin Clark, not tuning in.
So all of you guys can sit there and say, oh, you guys are just trying to uplift one player. Oh, the league is more than one. I agree, the league is more than one player. It's more than one good basketball player. But is there more than one player that moves the tide? No. We just have to be honest. It's okay.
There is fans that are just Caitlin Clark fans. I said this yesterday. If Caitlin Clark was to leave to go to New York or any other damn team, expect significant impact in the Indiana Fever viewership, bro. People might tune in for that first season without Caitlin if she was to leave, but after that, it is over with.
There was plenty of people I saw online who said, yo, Caitlin Clark not playing. Oh, she's hurt and they don't want to call fouls. Okay, I'm not giving them a view. I'm not gonna watch. There was plenty of people that boycotted watching this WNBA All-Star game.
You can see when Caitlin doesn't play, it happens. And how are we meant to know that if Caitlin ends up missing a year, Caitlin's gone, that all those fans don't just leave again?
They know they need Caitlin Clark to grow this league.
ESPN's trick with the numbers became crystal clear when you look closely at how they crafted their so-called historic viewership story. They carefully picked only the data that made the WNBA look best, while completely ignoring the massive drop in actual viewers. Instead of admitting that All-Star Game ratings fell by over 1 million viewers compared to 2024, ESPN's official social media and press releases focused on the fact that the 2025 game was up 158% from 2023. A year when Clark was still in college and the WNBA had barely any mainstream attention. This wasn't a mistake or an oversight. It was a deliberate move to manipulate public opinion by choosing the most flattering comparison and hiding the reality of what happens when the league's biggest star isn't on the court. The irony is even sharper when you realize that throughout the season, ESPN credited Clark for the WNBA's explosive growth. Yet when she was out, suddenly individual players supposedly don't matter. Even though her absence caused a huge ratings collapse, ESPN also hyped the numbers for Friday Night Skills, Challenge and Three-Point Contest, which pulled in 1.3 million viewers, an 89% increase from the previous year. But what they left out was that these boosts were due to changes in the event's format and scheduling tweaks, which almost always lead to higher ratings, not a sign of overall league strength.
Why not just not put up 153? Just say 2.2 million average viewers and then just say second most watched All-Star game ever behind 2024, which is fine. You don't even have to say how down bad it is. It's a PR page.
Instead of trying to down Caitlin Clark and diminish her to the level that other people may be at, why don't you promote the other people alongside of Caitlin Clark's greatness?
If Caitlin Clark was in it, we're going to say it's up on non-Caitlin Clark numbers because, you know, Caitlin Clark's just an anomaly. Caitlin Clark's not a player. Caitlin Clark is not relevant to this. Caitlin Clark is an anomaly.
Oh, y'all are trying to straddle the fence. We want your money, but we don't want you. Which one is it? Which one is it? We want the viewership, but we only want viewership from certain people's fans. We want the ratings up, but we don't want these type of like, no, do you want it or not? You got to accept what comes with everything. The good, the bad, the ugly.
The fallout from Clark's withdrawal went way beyond just TV ratings. It shook every part of the WNBA's economic foundation. Ticket sales, merchandise, and corporate sponsorship all took a massive hit, creating a market crash that ESPN tried hard to keep under wraps. That nearly 48% drop in ticket prices from $121 down to $64 wasn't just a small shift. It was a clear rejection from fans who had bought tickets specifically to see Clark play in her hometown of Indianapolis. And this collapse happened mere hours after her injury was announced, showing just how much casual fans lose interest without the league's biggest star. Social media quickly filled with fans canceling trips, selling off tickets, and deciding not to watch the All-Star game at all because Clark wasn't playing. This kind of fan backlash was exactly what ESPN's skewed statistics aimed to downplay, hiding it from advertisers and sponsors who might be watching closely.
Now, many other people stated that, you know what, it was sold out. It was not a boycott. Well, you know the old saying, men lie, women lie, and the numbers don't. This is a case of the numbers not lying.
I believe that it's everything also leading up to this. I mean, talk about leading up to this. The officiating, I think enough fans had it up to here with the league as a whole. People had it up to here. You got to understand. Caitlin Clark is getting beat up in these games. The refs aren't calling anything. Kathy Engelbert seems to have air between both of her ears. She seems to have pure air floating between her ears. And I think people are fed up.
And what led up to this whole situation is the WNBA referees not giving Caitlin Clark a fair whistle. The whistle played into facts when it comes to this WNBA All-Star game. I don't give a damn how people try to spin it, cut it. You cannot cut the facts. And the facts is the WNBA All-Star game was a disaster before it even started.
Kathy Engelbert, this should be a perfect example of why you need to get your officiating cleaned up, and you need to have a talk with your players in the league. And nobody's asking you to hold Caitlin Clark's hand. Just play fair and stop with the WWE bullshit.
The financial impact of Caitlin Clark's absence during the WNBA All-Star Weekend went far beyond the game itself, affecting a wide range of Indianapolis businesses that had anticipated a tourism surge, from hotels and restaurants to stores carrying Fever merchandise. Despite this, ESPN's coverage largely ignored the broader economic fallout, choosing instead to highlight selective stats that downplayed the situation's severity. More concerning for the league's future was how Clark's absence revealed a lack of comparable star power across the WNBA. Even standout performances, such as Nafisa Collier's record-setting 36-point MVP showing, failed to generate significant public interest, underscoring the league's ongoing struggle to cultivate multiple headline-worthy athletes. The backlash against ESPN's narrative manipulation came swiftly. Prominent journalists, including Christine Brennan, publicly questioned the network's integrity, criticizing its PR team for misrepresenting viewership trends. Brennan's viral tweet pointing out that ESPN's historic viewership claims actually masked a sharp drop from the previous year amplified these concerns. Sports Business Journal's Austin Karp further exposed the issue, illustrating that Clark's presence drives huge ratings, while her absence correlates with steep declines, such as the 36% dip in All-Star viewership. His reporting suggested ESPN's coverage may have been tailored to obscure this dependency. Criticism intensified as industry insiders accused the network of blurring the lines between promotional messaging and honest journalism. By comparing 2024 viewership to pre-Clark years like 2023, ESPN implicitly acknowledged that the league now operates in a drastically different media environment, while simultaneously using that comparison to obscure current struggles. This tactic raised doubts about ESPN's portrayal of the WNBA's growth as organic and sustainable rather than driven by a single breakout star. ESPN's selective framing also contradicts its previous reporting that highlighted Clark as the catalyst for record-breaking attendance and ratings. Downplaying her impact during key broadcasts creates internal inconsistencies and erodes trust in the network's objectivity. This controversy gains further weight amid ongoing CBA negotiations, where players are leveraging rising ratings as justification for increased pay. Efforts such as the "Pay Us What You Owe Us" shirts worn during All-Star Weekend were aimed at spotlighting this gap. But ESPN's attempt to mask audience declines during Clark's absence may have inadvertently weakened players' bargaining power by distorting revenue perceptions. The ethical concerns are amplified by ESPN's dual role as both broadcaster and financial partner of the WNBA. When coverage becomes entangled with business interests, it risks misleading corporate sponsors who rely on accurate metrics for investment decisions, particularly in a league grappling with its dependence on a single player to drive engagement. Public reaction to ESPN's handling of the situation has been overwhelmingly critical. Many fans quickly spotted the statistical sleight of hand, signaling a growing media literacy and unwillingness to accept surface-level narratives. This mistrust could harm ESPN's ability to maintain loyal audiences, especially if viewers begin to question the credibility of their coverage across other sports with similar business entanglements long-term. This situation may reinforce damaging perceptions that women's sports media lacks transparency compared to coverage of men's leagues, undermining efforts to position leagues like the WNBA as legitimate, sustainable entertainment properties. Internationally, the consequences could be even more far-reaching. As ESPN content informs global broadcasters and potential partners evaluating the WNBA's growth, misleading portrayals could skew important decisions around rights acquisitions, sponsorships, and international market entry. With Commissioner Kathy Engelbert openly discussing global expansion, accurate audience data is crucial. But if foreign media executives perceive ESPN's reporting as unreliable, it could complicate those international ambitions. Ultimately, the controversy reveals deeper issues in how corporate media balances commercial interests with journalistic responsibility. When networks feel pressure to protect their investments by shaping the narrative, they risk damaging both their credibility and the long-term health of the sports they cover.